Good morning. So in last class, we have a study about a spillway and a spillway gates. So also what importance of a spillway and where it is constructed, and in India which type of a spillway is generally used. So that portion is completed. So today's topic is the groundwater. Today's topic is Today's topic is groundwater. So what is groundwater? So groundwater is the underground water. Groundwater is the below the earth surface water, means underground water that occurs in saturation zone. Groundwater is underground water, means below the earth surface, and occurs in saturated zone. Where it is occurs? In saturated zone. Saturated zone of variable thickness and depth below the earth surface. So how water is stored in this zone? So cracks and pores in the existing rocks or earth surface and unconsolidated crystal layer that make up a large underground reservoir. Okay, that work as a reservoir. And if raining yeah, precipitation is there, precipitation will come, and that water is stored in this reservoir. Okay, so these water are stored in rocks rocks or soil, between the soil particle, due to due to cracks or pores, or either we can say due to voids. It enter water enter precipitation of water due to precipitation is entered into the ground surface. So groundwater is largely tapped for irrigation crop in India. So about 46% of our country, about 46% of our total irrigated area, that irrigate by groundwater source. That irrigate by groundwater source. And this is also a traditional method, traditional source of drinking water, also irrigation water. Okay, so this is about introduction of groundwater. So next we have to study in detail about groundwater. So I share my screen. Okay, so what is importance of groundwater? Importance of groundwater. So groundwater is found in the pores of soil and sediment plus narrow fracture in bedrock. Okay, so any bedrock means any cracks, pores. Okay, so groundwater is found in pores of soil and sediment also, or also cracks of bedrocks, cracks of any bed. So groundwater is the largest reservoir of fresh water that is readily available to human. That is readily available. It is the largest reservoir below the earth surface. Below the earth surface is the largest reservoir, and water is occurrence due to presence of cracks and pores. So also geological role of groundwater, how the groundwater is important in for our geology. So it also an erosional agent, and also groundwater serves as a equalizer of a stream flow. Equalizer of a stream flow. This is a chart of water present in Earth's surface. So this is a chart table of fresh water of hydrosphere. So first is the ice sheet and glacier. ice sheet and glacier is volume is given 24,000 24 into take over itna meter cube volume is present, and total volume of water is present, that is total volume of water is present, that is at the earth surface is this amount. Okay, so rate of water exchange is time duration is also given. So what factor affect the groundwater? What factor affect the controlling of groundwater? So some factor is there. So first factor that is affect the groundwater, occurrence of groundwater and also control the groundwater is first is the porosity. First is the porosity, and second is the permeability or transmissibility. Permeability. So what about first porosity? So the porosity of rocks, which is major geological criteria for occurrence of groundwater, also represented by N. Okay, so porosity of rocks and permeability of rocks, that both are control and affect the occurrence of groundwater. So the porosity of rocks, which is major geological criteria for occurrence of groundwater, and it also affect the measurement of interstices or void present in rocks. Also porosity also represent in terms of void present in soil strata or in rocks. So it is generally defined as the percentage of void present in given volume of aggregate. Porosity is defined as the percentage of void present in given volume of aggregate. That means N equal to volume of void by total volume of soil. Okay, this represents porosity. So porosity equal to also can be expressed in mathematically total volume of void in aggregate, that is volume of water required to saturate the dry sample. Okay, this is the VV, and to the total volume of soil. Total volume of soil or total volume of aggregate. Okay, so this is the porosity represented by N equal to VV by VV. V is the total volume of given soil or given aggregate, and it also represents in terms of percentage, that is in 100%. Okay, so porosity in fact depend upon the shape, packing, and also degree of sorting of component grain in the given material. Okay, so if soil grain is uniform or well sorted grain, then it has higher porosity. Okay, if uniform grain, then porosity is higher. And if grain in heterogeneous size, soil molecules in heterogeneous or irregular shape, then porosity is decreases. How it is defined? So if here is the regular size of soil sample and here is the irregular size of soil sample. Here we can show the soil sample in regular manner, that is regular size of soil sample. Okay, and in this case porosity is higher. For in case of uniform or well sorted grain, But if soil molecules or soil grain is irregular or heterogeneous, then porosity is minimum. How? So here is the coarse grain, here is the soil grain, but in irregular. So irregular means small particle or heterogeneous different shape of particles also fill the these voids. Also fill the these voids. So in this case, porosity is less. In this case, porosity is high. Okay. So porosity in fact depends also shape, packing, and degree of sorting of the component grain. Okay. So for uniform grain arrangement or well sorted arrangement, porosity is higher, void ratio is also higher, but for heterogeneous grain or irregular arrangement of grain, porosity is decreased. Okay, so the porosity of rocks and unconsolidated material may be vary, and it may be less than or more than 50%. So porosity of any rock may be more than or less than 50%, but generally it is not exceed 50% for it is not exceed 50% po- for which type of soil? For for poorly compacted for poorly compacted material or poorly compacted soil, it is not more than 40%. Okay, and in case of porosity is greater than 20%, greater than 20%, that means soil is in compacted manner. So soil is in general, porosity greater than 20% is considered to be large, and if porosity is below the 5%, as 5% is very less, or between 5 to 20%, if porosity is in between 5 to 20%, then it is medium compacted. Okay, then it is medium compacted. This point is clear. So the porosity value for a few common types of rock is in this way. So if granite or quartite, if granite or quartite, granite or quartite, porosity may be 1.5%. Okay, if slate structure is there, slate or shale strata is there, then porosity is 4%. That is in medium, less than medium. If porosity is in limestone, that is 5 to 10%. Higher porosity in clay soil. If clay strata is there, then porosity is very high. That is approximately 45%. This type granite, quartite, slate, shale. This is a rock type soil, rock soil. But clay is a fine soil, fine grained soil. In these structure, granite, slate, and shale, porosity or voids due to cracks of this strata. But clay and soil or sand, porosity or void is due to is gap between soil grains. So porosity is very higher in clay, that is 45%. Okay. So this is the important factor. Porosity is the important factor which control and affect the groundwater. Second second factor is the permeability and transmissibility. Second factor is permeability and transmissibility. So permeability and transmissibility. So how they affect? Permeability and transmissibility. So as stated above, The groundwater can get stored in underground rocks or soil strata due to pores or voids are present sufficiently. Okay, so water gets stored in pores or void of rocks, and the porosity of rocks is defined in the maximum amount of water that can be stored in the rocks. Okay, maximum amount of water that can be stored in the rocks. So that represents the porosity of rocks. And porosity, due to porous or due to void present in the soil strata, water moves through or enter through these pores, this tiny hole, and this process is known as permeability. So permeability can be defined as the ability of rocks or unconsolidated sediment to transmit or pass the water through itself. Okay, and transmissibility is the another term which represents the same physical meaning as permeability, but only difference in mathematical calculation. So permeability permeability is a process, is a ability of soils due to which water water pass through soil itself. Water pass through itself. Okay, and transmissibility also has same features, but mathematically transmissibility represent in different manners. Okay, so transmissibility generally represent of the capacity of capacity of water stored or water transmit capacity of water transmit. So permeability is a property of soil that represent by K, and transmissibility that represent by T. So the capability of entire soil of full width if the width of soil strata is B, width of soil strata is B, and depth is D, and depth is D, and width is B, then area equal to B into D. Area equal to B into D. Okay. If B equal to 1, if B considered equal to 1 and D equal to D, then area equal to 1 into D, that is A equal to D. And this is known as transmissibility. This is known as transmissibility by mathematical calculation, area equal to D. So soil of unit width and full depth that represent as permeability. Okay, that means capability of entire soil of full width or unit width but in full depth is known as transmissibility. Okay, so permeability, the permeability is also measured in terms of coefficient of permeability. Okay, and that represent by K. Okay, and there are various methods with the help of which we can calculate the permeability constant in lab. That method is the constant head parameter, and also second method is the variable head parameter, which is used to measure the permeability. Okay, so relation between transmissibility and permeability is and permeability. Relation between transmissibility and permeability is K and T. Relation between K and T. Transmissibility and permeability. So the term transmissibility is introduced by Thesis Okay, and it is measured in terms of coefficient of transmissibility. So T represent coefficient of transmissibility, coefficient of transmissibility, and it is defined as the rate of flow of water. It is defined as the rate of flow of water through a vertical strip of the water bearing material, or water bearing material also. That material we can say aquifer. Okay, of unit depth and unit width and depth d. So T equal to, simply we can write as T equal to d. T equal to d. T is the transmissibility and K is the coefficient of permeability. T also is the coefficient of transmissibility. So transmissibility, how we define? It is defined as the rate of flow of water through vertical strip or water bearing material, or we can say aquifer of unit width but full depth. Okay, means this is the one width b equal to 1. This is the given soil strata which contained water. Okay, means saturated zone, and this is the depth d. So transmissibility is the rate of flow rate of flow rate of flow of water within this strata, and this strata is the width equal to 1 and depth equal to d. Okay, so relation between coefficients of transmissibility and coefficient of permeability equal to T equal to KD. T equal to KD. So now groundwater reservoir. How groundwater reservoir created below the earth surface. So next point is the groundwater reservoir. Groundwater reservoir. So if we move from earth surface, we move below the earth surface. This is the ground level. This is the ground level, and if we move down below the earth surface, okay, below the earth surface, then existing zone of soil strata is found. Existing zone of soil is found that divided in different zones. This lowest zone is known as zone of rock flowage. Zone of rock flowage, and this zone is known as zone of rock fracture. Zone of rock fracture. Okay. So zone of rock fracture is again divided into different zone, that is here. Here is the water table WT represented by inverted triangle. So this zone is known as saturated zone. Saturated zone, and above the saturated zone, this zone is also divided into different zone. Okay. So above Above the saturated zone, this zone is known as capillary zone. Capillary zone. This zone is intermediate water zone. Intermediate water zone, and here is the soil water. Here is the soil water, and this three zone is known as zone of aeration. These three zone combinedly known as zone of aeration. These three zone combinedly known as zone of aeration. So basically, broadly divided in two zones. That is, first is the rock zone of rock fracture, and second is the zone of rock fluid. So first zone is the zone of rock fluid. That is zone in which the rocks or soil undergo permanent deformation. So in this zone, rock fluid zone, rocks are in permanent deformation. That is actually not accurately known but generally estimated as many miles. So in probability absent in this zone. Okay, so this zone is known as rock flowage zone, and above the rock flowage zone, Earth's strata is known as rock fracture, and this zone stresses are within the elastic limit. In this zone, stresses are within the elastic limit. Okay, the maximum depth of this zone is generally below the ground surface is 100 meter to 1000 meter. Generally, depth of rock fracture zone is the 100 meter to 1000 meter. Okay, so this zone is again divided into two zones. First is the saturated zone and second is the zone of aeration. Okay, so zone of saturation zone, that is below the groundwater table. Below the groundwater table is known as the zone of saturated or saturated zone, and above the groundwater table is known as the zone of aeration. That is known as the zone of aeration. So water existing in the zone of aeration is due to molecular attraction. Here, zone of aeration, in zone of aeration, water is existing due to due to molecular attraction. So the gravity water moves through this zone. Gravity water moves through this zone, and what happens? Gravity water moves through this zone, and water in this zone is not at hydrostatic pressure. Water in this zone is not in hydrostatic pressure. Okay, and generally the thickness of this zone is about 300 meters. Okay, thickness of zone of aeration is generally 300 meters. Okay, so above this zone, capillary zone, intermediate zone is here, and above the intermediate zone, soil water zone is present. So in soil water zone, generally vegetation, roots of vegetation is present in soil water zone. Also, this zone is also known as soil root zone. Soil root zone. So plants root are present here. Plants root are present in soil root zone portion. So again I share my screen. Okay. So Here is distribution of groundwater that is in different zone of saturation. So what is zone of saturation? So water reaches a zone where all the open space in sediment and rocks are completely filled with water. What is how we define zone of saturation? So in zone of saturation, rocks and soil voids are filled with water. Means soil is in two-phase system. Soil is in two-phase system, water and soil, fully saturated zone. And water table, the upper limit of zone of saturation. Water table is at upper limit of zone of saturation. Next zone is the capillary layer, capillary zone. So in capillary zone, water is present due to molecular forces, but due to capillary action means groundwater is held by surface tension. Groundwater is held by surface tension in tiny passage between two grain or soil sediment. Okay, and where it is found extend upward from the groundwater. Next one is the zone of aeration. So zone of aeration is also above the groundwater. Okay, above ground table. So include the capillary fields, the belt of soil moisture. Water cannot be pumped by well. So in this zone, water cannot by this zone. Diagram distribution or distribution of ground of zero soil strata. So here this is the zone of saturation. This line is this is the this is the upper okay. Stage if or pores is the rock cracks are present in soil strata. Stream water is inter and flow within permeability and it moves it moves in downward direction and mix with water table level okay, mixed with water table level. So variation in water table factor that contributes the irregular surface of the water table, that water tends to pile up, that is beneath high areas, variation in rainfall also, and variation in permeability from place to place. That also affect the water table present within the okay, it has been groundwater and a stream. So constitute a basic link is the hydrological cycle. So during cycle, water moves sort of what some water also flow at earth surface, and these again evaporate in presence of sun, again again comes to the earth in form of precipitation. So this cycle is the continuous process This cycle is the continuous process. So constitute a basic link in hydrological cycle, and second is the three types of interaction. So first interaction is the gaining a stream, second is the losing a stream. So gaining a stream, see the diagram, gaining a stream, here is the open stream, flow over the earth surface, flowing water, and groundwater table also entered into the groundwater also contribute to the this stream. In second figure of losing a stream, so a stream water entered a permeable into the earth surface and mixed with groundwater level. So this is the losing and gaining interaction of a stream. Okay, so in third picks also losing a stream that is disconnected. So in second picture it is connected to groundwater table, a stream water is connected to groundwater table, but in losing a stream disconnected condition, groundwater enter into stream water enter into the soil zone, soil strata, within the soil strata below the earth surface, but it didn't contribute to the groundwater. That is only infiltration process. Here not percolation is done. Here percolation is not done. So the water table interaction between groundwater and a stream is the combination of first two, that is a stream gain in some section and lose in other areas. Okay, so factor influencing the storage of movement of groundwater. Factors influencing the storage of movement of groundwater. First is the permeability, second is the equitard and aquifers. So permeability I have discussed in this class also. Acutard. What is acutard? So acutard is an impermeable layer that hinder or prevent water movement such as clay. Just for example, clay is act as a acutard. And what is aquifer? Aquifer is the permeable rock strata or sediment that transmit groundwater freely. For example, aquifer is example of aquifer is the sand and gravels. Sand and gravels. Okay, so aquifer, different types of aquifer, different types of aquifer. Aquifer. Okay, so aquifer is a permeable strata or geological formation of permeable material which is capable to yielding appreciable quantity of groundwater under gravity. Okay, so aquifer have capacity to hold water under gravity. Holding capacity of water under gravity. Under gravity, and which type of formation in aquifer? Permeable formation of soil strata. Okay, permeable formation of soil strata. Next is the aquiclude. Aquiclude. So if aquifer is overlain by confined bed of impervious material, then it is confined bed or overburden is known as aquiclude. So aquiclude is a type of aquifer which is overlain by confined bed of impervious layer. So aquiclude is in between impervious material, aquiclude within the impervious material. So the amount of water yielded by well excavated through an aquifer depends upon the many factors. So first show the diagram of aquifer, and this is the ground level. This is the ground level. Here is the water table. This blue line represents water table. Okay. Below the different soil strata is present. First is the pervious layer is present here. Pervious layer. Pervious layer are higher porous. Okay. Higher porous. So next layer is the impervious. Next layer is the impervious. Next is also pervious. Next is impervious. Okay. Next again pervious. So this type of a structure is present. So in pervious layer, below the groundwater if pervious layer is present, that is known as aquifer. So that is aquifer. Okay. If below the groundwater impervious layer is present, so it is impervious. It is known as aquiclude. Impervious layer known as aquiclude. Okay. And if again pervious layer, that is also known as aquifer also. This pervious layer also represent aquifer. If again impervious, then it is aquiclude. So here is the aquifer or non-artesian, we can say. Aquiclude. Here is the aquifer, pervious layer, aquifer. Water can be extracted. So exposed somewhere in catchments. This portion is the exposed. This portion is the aquiclude. Okay. Here also pervious. So amount of water is excavated through aquifer. Through aquifer, amount of water excavated. Okay. And aquifer can be defined as unconfined aquifer and confined aquifer. Okay. So unconfined or a non-Artesian aquifer and confined or Artesian aquifer. So what is the difference between unconfined or confined aquifer? Unconfined or confined aquifer. Okay. So next is the types of unconfined or also called non-Artesian. Non-Artesian aquifer. Second is the confined or Artesian aquifer. So if the topmost of water bearing stratum have confined impermeable. So if soil strata is confined and impermeable, soil strata is confined and impermeable layer, then it is known as unconfined unconfined aquifer or non-Artesian aquifer. So generally, gravity well is constructed in unconfined aquifer. So generally, the dia of the well is 2 to 5 meters, which is constructed tap water from topmost water bearing strata, and that is also unconfined aquifer and also known as non-Artesian aquifer. Confined aquifer. When an aquifer is confined in its upper and under surface by impervious rock. So here is the any layer. This layer is the confined between this layer is confined between impervious rock formation. This is the impervious, here also impervious, but here is aquifer. Here is aquifer. Okay. So when an aquifer is confined on its upper and under the surface by impervious rock, or we can say aquiclude, then it is known as confined aquifer or Artesian aquifer. Confined or Artesian. Confined aquifer or Artesian aquifer. So a well excavated through this type of aquifer yield water that often flow out automatically under the hydrostatic pressure. So in this condition, if water is extracted, then water is extracted under the hydrostatic, not the gravity pressure, hydrostatic pressure. Water is extracted through hydrostatic pressure. Okay. So the former type of Artesian well is known as flowing well. So this type of well is also known as Artesian well. So Artesian well also depends upon the topography of area and not in inherent properties of Artesian in aquifer. Okay. Artesian veil. Artesian veil or non-flowing veil. That depends upon the topography, depends upon the topography of the earth's surface, and the pressure surface lies above the ground surface. The veil will a flowing Artesian veil. So in this condition, veil is constructed at, this is the earth surface, here is the earth surface, ground level. Veil is constructed, okay. This is recharge area of catchment. This is recharge area of catchment. Okay. So here types of soil may be sandstone or sandstone. This is the Artesian aquifer. This is a Artesian aquifer. Okay. So Artesian and non-Artesian aquifer is completed. Next aquifer is the Perst aquifer. Next is the Perst aquifer. Perst aquifer. So Perst aquifer is a special case of aquifer in which sometimes found to occur within the unconfined aquifer or sometimes confined aquifer. Okay. So if soil, if zone of saturation and impervious deposit below the pervious deposit, then it found to support a body of saturated material, and then this body of saturated material is known as Perst aquifer. So